Welcome to Maths with EJD and Data Analysis with Python. In this video, we move on to talk about making dashboards with Plotly. In the previous video, we had looked at data visualization with Plotly, and we see how beautiful the output of Plotly can be, how it can, it escalates most of the things you are done using other tools and makes them really cool. And to add to that, it's really interactive. Now, as someone who really enjoys doing almost everything I like to do as far as coding is concerned with Python, it's lovely to know about the fact that Plotly can help in making dashboards. Of course, a dashboard is a visual interface that displays key information and data insights, often through charts, tables, and indicators, in a consolidated, interactive, and easy to read format to help users monitor, analyze, and make decisions. So when you get a dashboard, right, it gives you an overview of what's going on behind the scene. So so a dashboard just tells you snapshots of what's happening with the data set you're considering. So dashboards are commonly used in business intelligence tools, e.g. in Tableau and Power BI. I mean, these are like the most popular dashboard tools that a lot of people would know of. In fact, probably a lot of people are even just hearing about the fact that Plotly can make dashboards, right? So of course, depending on who one is talking to. So and this can help in business intelligence tools like Tableau and Power BI to track sales, revenues, KPIs, and all that. Then dashboards are also used in healthcare systems to monitor patient statistics, hospital capacity, infection rates. It also helps in finance platforms, right, to visualize budgets, expenses, profits over time. So dashboards are used in web analytics, e.g. Google Analytics, to show website traffic, user behavior, and conversion rates. They're also used in project management tools like Jira or Trello to display project status, task progress, and deadlines. In this video, we set out to create an interactive customer behavior dashboard displaying average spending patterns, purchase frequency trends, and loyalty program participation with dynamic filtering by gender and purchase frequency along with detailed data table views. Let's break this dash up into step-by-step cells by first installing Dash. Now, for you to do Dash, to use, of course, we are talking about making dashboards with Plotly, right? So, of course, you need Plotly at some point, and then not just that, you also need the Dash library to help with that. So, the first thing you want to do is to install the Dash library, pip install Dash. So, Dash for dashboard, as you can imagine. So after installing Dash, I already had it installed, so that's why it's telling me a requirement already satisfied. But if you are doing it for the first time, it will take a bit more time, but not so much time, by the way. And then it gives you all this. So after installing Dash, the next thing you want to do is to import libraries. So here, let me even put the line show line numbers. Okay, I forgot to show you what I did here. Of course, we've done this a couple of times. So pip install Dash, that's what you need to install, and then we go for the next one. So here we are importing all the libraries. So from the dashboard library, import something called Dash, which we are going to use later as we go on. Then from the same Dash library, you want to import DCC HTML dash table, and all this will help in in making the dashboard. So you have import pandas as speedy, then okay, well, now one thing is sometimes if you're working with a code, I don't know what the code looks like. You can quickly get some insight by using maybe AI like Grok. So you can just copy and paste that line here, for instance, and it tells you what all those DCC and everything is meant for. Okay, so this one says that okay, it looks like you're trying to import components from the Dash library in Python, specifically DCC. DCC is Dash core components. So the core components of the dashboard, that's where you get it from. Then you have HTML, that's Dash HTML components. Of course, we know HTML is hypertext markup language or something. So you use all of this in websites and all those places. Then you have the Dash table also, which is Dash data table. These are commonly used to build interactive web applications with Dash. So in case you don't know what the library is doing, so Dash core components, HTML, and Dash table. Then, of course, we already know our pandas, which we often import as PD. Then we are also importing plotly.express as PX. Okay. And then from Dash dependencies, we import input and output. So, so for now, as far as this place is empty, it's blank, it means you have not run it. So this one was run. That's why it's showing number one. So the second to be run now will be number two. So if I come here and just press Control Enter, or I run it from the top there. So this star shows that it is currently working. Now it's two. So meaning that everything is done and there's no error. So if you have error, then you have to address it. But here there's no error. Although there's no result, but there's no error because you are not meant to get a result. You are not printing anything. You are not outputting anything. But so you're just mounting the libraries. The next thing we want to do is to load and clean data. Now, in this case, we are using a customer behavior data set. I think we worked with that earlier on in previous videos. So and just like I like to say, it's sometimes important to see the original data set in its raw form, like in Excel, in CSV or whatever. So this is what this looks like now. So we have customer ID, we have the age, we have gender, we have purchase frequency, we have average spend, we have loyalty program. Now this is just made up data set. Okay. Almost all the data sets I've been using are made up or they are found in the data in Python. Now you see that you have 75 customers here, but you also notice that there are some missing values. Okay, there are missing values here, so this is going to require cleaning. Another thing is there are some repeated values, like you see customer ID 7272 and all the information are the same. That might be due to some error, and that shows that there's need for data cleaning, right? So here again you have some missing data here, some missing data. Then you also have number 12. Now you have it repeated twice, right? So we have like three missing data and two repeated stuff. So by the time we remove all of those things through cleaning, of course you can clean right from here, right? By just deleting the cells or by just if you have to replace, you replace and all that. But I'll rather do that with using Python, right? So with that in place now, we go back. So now that customer behavior.xlsx it's an Excel file. So we just say df equals pd.read Excel customer behavior, and then I visualize. So Control Enter and see what we have. So like oh what we have there. So 75 rows, 6 columns. This is the original data set. So nothing has been done to it. If you also want to see the top 50, just say df.head, then 50 in this bracket, and then you have all that. So you can see some NaN missing values like that. Missing values, missing values. Then we also know there are some repeated values. So even if you don't know what it looks like, right? As far as you have decided to drop some not available data, so the next thing we want to do is do the cleaning. This section is about data, load and clean data, right? So here, and how to clean data, you want to drop anything that is not available, so it won't affect your analysis or it won't output some error. And then you also want to drop duplicates. That's exactly what we are doing in these first three lines. In line two, we said that data frame dot drop not available data set from age, gender, purchase frequency, average spend, loyalty program. Here we don't put the customer ID because that doesn't really matter. So, but whatever, once this is dropped, the customer number automatically drops too. Then you have number in line three, you drop duplicates. Okay. Then in line four, then you convert loyalty program to string type so we can easily categorize. So, and then so if by the time you run this, okay, by the time you run this, Control Enter. Now, see, this the one up here. Okay, let me remove this 50 so we can see that we had 75 up there, right? So here we had 75 rows, 6 columns. Now we have 70 rows, 6 columns. So all those duplicated cells and all those have been deleted. And then now we have our new data set. So if you see the top 50, you won't see that's df.head bracket 50. So if you visualize that now, you won't see all the not available data is gone, not there anymore. Okay, so everything is clean now. There's no repetition also, so everything is just clean now. So we have this 70 to work with. So the next thing we want to do as we do talk about the dashboard is to prepare drop down options. So you always want to maybe you want to change gender or frequency of purchase to see what the data looks like. So in line one, we have gender options. So you say label gender, value gender. For gender in the gender column and unique. So you don't want a repetition of male and female. So you want just one male or just one female like that. And then you have frequency options too. So label frec equals label frec value frec for frec in DF purchase frequency, making sure you have a unique one without repetition, you know. Then here we just want to print gender to see the gender options, print frequency options to just see what that looks like. So here now we have label female, label male, value male, frequency, label locational, value locational, label frequent, value frequent, label rare, value rare. As you can see, okay, here we have converted it to string. But if you look at the original data for the loyalty program, right, one is true, you know, and the other is false. So when we convert it this way, okay, I think it's better to let me just let me renew kernel so we can really see what's happening up there. So reset, okay, restart. So I'll just start again from mountain. So I don't have to install again because it's been installed already. So this is done. Then we come here. This is done. Okay, loyalty program 1 and 0. So 1 is true and 0 is false. And then here we have this now. Okay. And then here we do all this. So you see for the frequency of purchase, you have occasional, frequent, or rare. So these are the three unique values now. So this is printing the unique values you have up there. So having done that, the next thing you want to do is to initialize the app. So like you want to, it's more like you are opening a bank account. So to initializing the app is more like putting a kind of uh deposit, the first deposit just to activate the account, which is required in some situations. So to initialize the app, you have a variable name app equals dash. So you can see this dash now. The original library is not dash with capital D. The original library is dash with small d, if you remember. But then it has a dash function inside of it that is necessary when we want to initialize the app. Okay. So we have app equals dash, then this is double underscore name, double underscore. So you must have come across this. I think, did you, in object-oriented programming, you must have come across this kind of initialization kind of tool. And then when I say this app title, the title of this app is called employee dashboard. So you can change it to whatever you like. Then okay, of course we have to run that. So that prepare the preparation for drop down was done already. So we also have to run this. Yeah. So this is also so the app is initialized now. So the next thing we want to do is to build the layout for the app. What pattern should you follow? So look at the app layout. So we have HTML. We imported HTML inside of Dash also. So app.layout. So you have HTML.div. So HTML.h1 customer behavior dashboard. The style is text align in the center. So when the dashboard comes out, the customer behavior dashboard is going to show in the center, and then you have dashboard core components. So you have a drop down. So there's a function called drop down inside the module DCC inside the dash library. So for the drop down now, you want ID gender drop down. So this is for gender. You want to select the gender, whether male or female. So the options, you have the gender options that you had already prepared up here. So male and female that you had there. Then the next thing is you want to also have the value, which is frequency options. So this is more like a default value. So you pick the first frequency option. The first frequency option in the table, in this case now, is this let's say it's occasional. So it automatically takes that. And the first gender is female. So it will automatically pick those things up. So clearable false, then these are some kind of styling things. Uh, of course, you can vary this to see what happens later on. Then you also have another one. This is that is for g- gender. So this is for gender up here. And then this is for frequency now. Frequency is now occasional, rare, or frequent, right? So again, you do the same frequency drop down option, frequency options, value frequency option. The first frequency is occasional, just like the first gender up there. The value is female. Okay. So when you run the dashboard, you're going to have a female occasional customers by default. Then if you now want anything else, you can also change. So now we have drop down. That's a core component. Another core component is graph. So you want to draw graph. So just say this is a graph. ID spend bar graph. This is the graph. ID loyalty pie chart. So it means we're going to have in the dashboard a bar graph and a pie chart. So you can also indicate any other thing you may need, maybe like a line chart or whatever, scatter plots, anything you may want. Then you have dash table, dash underscore table. That's one of the functions we also imported in Dash. Then this data table is like a function. And so we talk about what we want to see in the table. You have ID customer table columns, name, ID is I for I in df.column. So numbering the columns now. So you have style table margin 20 px, overflow x, auto, style cell, you have text align, left padding 5 px, and then style header, you have background color light gray. So you can change all of these things if you like. So of course, don't forget to just so as far as this is blank, you have not built the layout. So if I run it and then we have a number that then the layout is built. The next thing we want to do is define callback. Define a callback. Callback is now, so you have done the layout. So this is where you now specify how exactly those things should be. So you have at app callback, app.callback, and this app is a variable name that we used when we initialized the whole thing. So it's like everything is connected. So don't forget to so if you have forgotten to run all that, so you're going to have error generated. Yeah, see when we initialize the app, we had this app variable name. That is what we are doing there now. Define callback. So you have at app.callback. So the output, remember we also imported inputs and outputs from dash dependencies. So we have output spend bar graph figure. Another output is loyalty pie chart figure. Another output is customer table. So these are the three outputs we are expecting, right? So if you want more, you can always extend it. Then the inputs will be the gender. So the gender drop down, the value, whether it's male or female, the frequency drop down, the value, whether it is rare, occasional, or frequent, right? So these are the two callbacks. Then you now define the function. So you define update dashboard. So selected gender, selected frequency. So when you select the gender and select the frequency, you now do filtered data frame. So you're going to filter the data frame based on whatever you select up here. So you have df gender when is equal to if selected gender is from here and purchase frequency like that is also selected frequency, copy that out. That's the filtered df, right? Then you now do for the bar chart now. So these things you have copied now for the bar chart, you now say fig underscore spend will now be px, that's python express dot bar, because we're doing bar chart here. Then the filtered data frame that you have done here in line 9. So you now have x-axis is customer ID, y-axis is average spend, and you do a color by using customer ID, and then you now title using Fspring average spend for selected gender and average and selected frequency like that. Then that's for bar chart. For pie chart, you have loyalty counts. So pie chart deals with counts, right? And then takes percentages of all these things. So you have the filter data frame based on the loyalty program member, and you count the values and you set the index. So loyalty counts dot column. This loyalty counts now take the columns and their loyalty program member and count. So fig underscore loyalty now give you will be px.py, loyalty count, names loyalty program, values count, tied to loyalty program membership. That's how you draw a pie chart. And then for the table data, you have table underscore data equals filtered. The filter data frame is to dictionary, and you take the records and you return the spending, loyalty, and table data. These three. So up till now, I've just been talking about it. I've not really run it. So control enter or shift enter, you run that. So the callback has been defined. So the job is done. All right. So what we have left is to run the app and see what it gives. And to run the app, you remember when you initialized it the other time, you said if double underscore, you can see this double underscore name, double underscore is equal to main. Then now say dot run debug true. So in previously it used to be app dot run underscore server, but that one is deprecated. So now it's just app dot run. And then also for the library dash, it used to be Jupyter dash, but that is also deprecated. Now it's now just dash. So control enter and you have your dashboard. So you see this right here. So I guess I have to shrink this up a bit. So see what we have. So this is our customer dashboard. So if you want to change anything, you can go back up there. So this is default now, female and occasional. So for female, occasional buyers now. So we want to see the average spending. Average spending for female occasional buyers, that's what you see here. So these are the female occasional buyers. So you have customer one is an occasional buyer who buys around 126.61 whatever currency. Customer number 14 is also like that, buys 258.68. Then this is also customer ID 17 and on like that. Now, if you look at this, now this just talks about the customer number. The brighter, the higher the customer number. So probably if you want to know these are recent. It looks like the recent customers are spending more than the old customers. So that can also tell you something that probably you may want to find out what is bringing these new customers, right? And then do something around it. Then for the loyalty program for these people now, 60% of them are loyalty membership program members, and 40% of these other people are, not loyalty program members, right? So, and then we also have a table. So bar chart, pie chart, and table. So you have their information in this table like this. So these are all female locational buyers. So if you want to see other information, all you just need is maybe you want to see female frequent buyers. So this is it now. So for the female frequent buyers, you also have the information. You have the average spending. So in this case, female frequent buyers, the old customers tend to spend more in a way. All right. And then 50% of them are loyal, 50% are loyal program members, membership members, loyal program member, and 50% are not, of course. Then we can also see female rare rare customers. So for the rare customers, though they are rare customers, but each time they come to spend, they spend a lot, right? They spend a lot. So like this customer 11 now spends 481.97, while the customer 4 spends 472.6. So like that. So these are rare female customers. So we can also switch it over to male. So rare male customers. Okay, now you see it looks like the male. Well, I mean, maybe we need to do some averaging to be sure what's happening here. So of course, so further analysis can be done to be sure of this. But it looks to me like okay, like we have more male buyers because the bars are smaller. Maybe if that's a basis to judge. And then here 50-50 loyalty members. So these are rare male buyers. So you can also change it to male frequent buyers. The bars are still smaller, so should probably there are more males or so. So here 64.3% are not loyalty members, you know, and you have their table also. So we can also come and say male occasional bias. So you have all this also like that. So here you have 77.8% that are not part of the membership loyalty program like that. So that's how to make a dashboard. So with this, you can actually do any kind of dashboard you're interested, maybe like a school dashboard, an HR dashboard, or sales dashboard, anything you're interested in. So this is a simple customer behavior dashboard using Plotly and Dash, right? So if you, I know this is really interesting, and you want to take it up, you want to try out this. So of course, you can download all my code sheets and my data sets from the link you'll find in the description, either on Facebook or YouTube. So if you let me know how helpful this is for you, and if you want me to work with a particular kind of data set, feel very free to let me know in the comment section, whether on Facebook or on YouTube. I may be able to, generate a not a real, it doesn't have to be a real data set, just to explain the concept for the sake of privacy and all those things. So it's better we don't use any data that is from any known organization. So just data that doesn't reveal any private information. Okay, so if you have subscribed, of course, you're enjoying it a lot already. And if you have not, you'll be missing. So you want to subscribe right now, hit the notification bell so you can always get alerted each time a new video is released. And be sure to like and share so that more people can have access to this great content I have going on here. In the next video, I'll be talking about data visualization with Bokeh, which is another interactive data visualization tool, and it's particularly good if you want to work with web designs. So just like Plotly, like this. So like you can use this for so it means you can use all these things for apps, especially Plotly and Bokeh. So watch out for that. And after that, I'll be taking one project after another to actually explain, some of these ideas and data analysis with Python. Till I come your way again, keep doing data right. Bye.